If the warm-up you are doing lasts more than 5 minutes, you are doing too much. A lot of people that come up to me and tell me about their warm-ups, or the ones I see on social media, tend to just be way too long and aren't really doing anything beneficial for them going into their actual workout. It seems to me just like maybe a psychological thing, which is fine, but if you're looking to kind of just get in and get out, you really don't need much when it comes to warming up before getting into your working sets. And no, you don't need stretching. All we are trying to do is just warm up the body and get our nervous system firing. That is it. You do not need anything else. So to expand on that, here are some reasons I do a warm-up. I didn't in the past, but I've recently incorporated it to try and help minimize some issues when getting into my working sets. So with that, your warm-up should focus on a couple of things. First off, you're looking to warm up the body and allow more oxygen to get to the muscles, allowing for better and stronger contractions. You are also looking to activate and prime the connections between your nervous system and your muscles. This will also improve the efficiency of the movements that you are doing as you, again, already primed the muscles and nervous system to work together. But for me, the number one reason I like to do warm-ups is really to get the timing down or tempo of each one of my reps. Now, if this is your first video, you wouldn't know this, but in the past, I've gone over that my favorite rep tempo as of right now is a 3-0-2-1. So this is a 3-second eccentric or lengthening of the muscle with a slow change in direction at 0, and then a 2-second contraction or shortening of the muscle, and then a 1-second static hold of that contraction, and then repeat for as many reps as I need for my set. So with that said, let's take a look at my warm-up, and it consists of these 3 exercises. First off, we have a wall or door frame supported body weight squat. And next is our push movement pattern, and that is going to be the good old push-up. And lastly, we have a pull movement, and that is a standard pull-up. So my warm-up plan is that I do each of these for about 5 reps or until I feel they are good. The only time I'd ever do more than that is if I feel like during those initial 5, something felt weird, or I might do just another mini set of them to just make sure I get out all the kinks and I don't end up hurting myself when doing the actual working sets. So in short, I do 1 set unless I feel like something went wrong, where I do another. And this is also set up as circuit style, so I'm not doing like multiple sets or resting in between any of these. I just do the first exercise, then move right to the next one, and right to the last one. So it should take you no more than 2 minutes if you do all these to 5 reps with a 6-second rep cadence. Now remember, I'm not trying to push myself to failure or anything like that. I'm mostly trying to get the tempo of each exercise down. I'm also looking to just make sure I can activate and focus on the muscle that I'm targeting, doing most of the work and things of that nature while getting the blood flowing and getting warmed up for, again, the heavier working sets. So maybe you are crazy like me and 2 minutes is too long for your warm-up. If that is the case, here is something I like to do if I feel like I just want to start getting right into the workout but feel like a warm-up is still warranted. So what I want you to do is take a look at the very first exercise of your workout and what that movement pattern is. It should be something like legs, a push or pull type of movement. If it's something else, then you might need to think of a different exercise, but I'm going to go with those as being the big 3 or the normal ones most people would start with. So now that we have that exercise, you're only going to do the 1 exercise warm-up before jumping into your working sets based on that movement pattern. So for example, if a squat is the first exercise in your routine, you're going to do the body weight squats or assisted ones using your door frame. If you're doing a push movement pattern, so say like chest or even overhead press, I would do a push-up as your warm-up. And if you're doing any upper body pulling movements, then I would do the pull-up. This would include rows and things of that nature. Now the one question I know I'll get asked is, but what about things like deadlift as it works a lot of the upper body and is a pull movement? This for me would still fall under the lower body, so I'd still do a squat as my warm-up. That's just me. Feel free to do a back one if you want, but it's still hitting more of the lower body if you're doing a proper deadlift than it is your back. Don't get me wrong, it's working, but I still use it as a lower body warm-up movement pattern. And that's about it. Pretty much the easiest way you could ever do a warm-up, and again, no longer than 2 minutes before getting into your working sets. And if all this was still too complicated for you, simply just take the first exercise movement pattern and decrease the resistance you're using by about 50% and do 5 reps. That should be enough to get you warmed up, and you're good to go. Now with the 3 movements that I do in a circus style, the squat, push-up, and pull-up, if you are someone like me and sits at a desk all day, this can be a good little break in your day if you want to do it. So sometimes I've been sitting for 2 hours, I'll just get up and just do the whole thing in like 2 minutes, and then sit down and get back to my desk. Kind of, again, gets the blood flowing, gets me a little bit more active and a little bit more focused again. So if you find you're just kind of drudging through your day and sitting at your desk, break it up by doing this little routine. And I know this might be weird in an office, but if you're like me and sitting at home, and the only ones who can see are your wife and your dogs, feel free to do it anytime.